Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Down.
Thanks to all of you for assembling here at the Mary Kehoe Community Center for a very special session on Grihastha ashram. We have a very special couple, His Grace Kesav Prabhu and Her Grace Premlila Mataji. They are visiting us from India, from Mumbai. So before I hand it over to Prabhuji and Mataji, just a bit of a brief introduction because all of you may not have had a chance to interact with them. Kesav Prabhu and Premlila Mataji, they are Grihasthas who are based out of Bombay in India and with their son studying in Australia, whom they are visiting currently. Kesav Prabhu has been very instrumental in setting up the Bhaktivedanta hospital that many of you would have heard of. It's an exemplary hospital in India now, a very well-known and reputed hospital, which not only provides bodily care, but also provides the more important spiritual care. So Prabhuji has been one of the founder members of the hospital, and Mataji has been ably assisting him in the spiritual care department in that hospital. Not only that, Prabhuji and Mataji are also senior counselors in the Mumbai congregation, and as part of their so many years of Krishna conscious experience, they have been guiding so many Grihastha families in the art and science of family life, married life, and we are very fortunate that they have agreed to spend some of their valuable time with all of us and share the wisdom that we all need in Grihastha ashram. So before we begin, let's welcome them by loudly chanting 3 times. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Thank you.
Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Syam Shri Rupam Sagrijatam Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagrapalita Shri Vishakhan Vitam Sya Namahom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratise Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So we welcome all residents of Shri Radha Vallabh congregation. We both also feel very honored and it's a privilege to be here in Melbourne. We are coming here for the first time and we have been spending with many of you for last few days. But then today we are going to talk on, we are not going to talk on, we are going to share with you. We have been married for 30 years and this is one of the ashram, Grihastha ashram. When you hear about this ashram, it will make you feel very nice. It is said it is one of the most glorious ashram. But at the same time today the topic given is, what is the topic given?
Fighting for marriage. Fighting for marriage and parenting.
Fighting for your marriage. not fighting inside marriage. So this fight is there. So why fighting? I mean, no? So there are two words in this. One is fighting and another is marriage. Now marriage is, as in Sanskrit this is said, vivaha. It is a very sacred, very auspicious, but same time it's of very serious nature, of great responsibility, great commitment. And in relation to other ashrams, I'm sure you must have heard this several times, must be tired of hearing this. But what we will do today is, I would like it to be a very interactive session. Now, we will speak mostly from our experience. One sense it is said, no doubt it is very challenging, it has its own difficulties, but same time also it is said that it is very glorious. Why it is glorious? Because anyone, if he follows as per Vedic principles, that place becomes Vaikuntha. How does it feel? That means Vaikuntha is not there somewhere, it can be in Melbourne also. There is no geographical location. It is a state of, Vaikuntha means there is no anxiety. Now if it is so glorious, it is Vaikuntha. One sense I was thinking about, I'm sure Prabhupada set up centers all over the world. I'm sure Prabhupada wanted these values to be available to people who are there. I'm sure this temple was not for only Indian residents who come here and work and for them, isn't it? Is it? So now, one aspect of Grihastha ashram is it is easily accessible to the society, isn't it true? Now there are 4 ashrams, Brahmachari, Vanaprastha and Sannyas. They are not easily accessible to the society. It is Grihastha ashram because they are in touch with the common community. So this is a great link for preaching, that sense. So what you show and how is your lifestyle, how you behave, what values you have and what standards you set, that becomes really something which people can see, to understand, especially in this age when the Institute for Marriage as such is not very stable. So how do we relate it then? If it is so glorious, it has its own challenges, and all other ashrams, 3 ashrams, they are also actually coming from Grihastha ashram. You have to take birth somewhere, right? So if it is properly, now what is this word properly? So it is said marriage, that is what is Grihastha ashram, and there is fighting. So it is fighting for that which is our right. I'm sure here there are people who are married for many years, many just maybe married, and I'm sure few of them who are have decided to enter Grihastha ashram. So for all of them, just to give you some idea about the significance of this ashram, the purpose of ashram is same. The same like Brahmacharya ashram, Vanaprastha ashram, isn't it? Is there any difference in the purpose? It's the same purpose. The goal is same. The objective is same. To realize who we are. But only the standard of renunciation is different. Brahmacharya, the standards are high. Vanaprastha, it is again high. And what to speak about sannyas. So in Grihastha ashram, those who have desires, they have desires. There's very few people who will take to Brahmacharya or Now this is an ashram where you purify your desires, but you come out of the ashram shining. That's what is the purpose. Not that we get caught up in the ashram and forget about what are we meant for. So that is, there is a long-term vision. You go through this ashram and both husband and wife together with the same purpose. When they go through it and they come out, shining they should come out. That means they've gone through purification. And it's I'm sure all of us, we are seeking happiness. Who would not like? Now, but in Shastra, there are several references that householder's life, very frustrating. Sometimes you feel that, is it always like this, painful? Yes, one sense it is true. Prabhupada very clearly says in purport that, it's very difficult to really be peaceful and happy. So many of you may be thinking, no, in our marriage everything is going on. Even if everything is going on right, it is impossible that there is no problems. There is problem and there will be problem. It will be very disturbing. Just before we came, we were just discussing with some parents but we are not going to talk about that. That is raising children. There may be some questions, but we are talking about, there is one sense, because there is a liberty for sense gratification. In other ashrams it is not there. In Grihastha ashram there is a liberty. To minimize that or regulate that, there are several responsibilities given. I just short that. So several responsibilities. Right from charity, of course money is very sweet, sweeter than honey, but it's a Grihastha ashram which is going to do charity. What to talk about taking care of elders, taking care of the guests, and several other, obviously raising children itself is a big. But all these things, responsibilities will naturally follow if there is a sound relationship between husband and wife. Now why it is said fighting? Because it's not so easy. Now why I am speaking, who am I to speak about that it's not so easy? As if I am sitting here, both of us sitting here and talking to you about something very ideal. No, it's not something about ideal. We are just going to share with you how difficult it is, but how it can be worked upon and but it may take time. And it can be worked on. And it can be not so bad. Or you, in spite of all the differences, how we can develop vision where all those differences can be transcended and still you can remain together. I'm not going to talk much. We are both going to talk something and then we want to leave it open for you to what you want to know. Are you clear what we are talking about? So now, in our own life, if you ask us, we are of totally different nature. We were already married before we were introduced to Krishna consciousness. We had a 3-year-old son. And we tried to change each other. I would try to change, it never worked. She tried to change me and never worked. And we are still the same. But what we were before and what we were now, and how do we relate to each other, definitely it is different. So it's not that just tolerating. Our vision has changed. What I see in her or what she sees in her is definitely different. So how did this happen? Which we can just speak about. You want to say anything?
No, just
So her nature was something very, very irritating to me, and obviously it's very difficult to live with a person whom you don't.
I think they are laughing because they don't believe it.
So see, mind you, we are again discussing about something where I am not here to say that you all are quite mature and understanding, but this has to be worked on. So he said that marriage is a commitment. See, negativity will be there. It is very natural. And in this age, negativity is rampant, easily available, isn't it? Hatred, bitterness, anger, envy. Do you have to search for it? Everywhere it is there, easily. and to have tolerance, forgiveness, to to accommodate or be very kind, and this is really you have to work. It is not going to be so easy. And the way our lifestyle is, every one of us are so stressed. I don't have to stay here longer to find out that. The way the work nature, and it keeps us so stressed. So you need just little provocation. Just little, and that little provocation can. So coming back to the point, it is again very glorious, but you have to fight for it. Bhagavad Gita was spoken on the battlefield. Why it was spoken on the battlefield? Because our life is actually a fight. We are always fighting to oppose the demoniac nature. If you have to raise our consciousness, you have to fight against demoniac nature. This is a fight. The confrontation is going on. So similarly, this word, how it came, we don't know. She is the one who brought this term, that fighting for your marriage. So once that commitment is there, commitment. Now before that commitment, I'm sure there is a lot of option. You can match the horoscope, you can know whether we are compatible or not. So many things can be done. But once you are married, then it is a commitment. And that commitment to become glorious, then you have to fight for it. Fight means you have to work. You should know that who is responsible for this. In any situation, the first question should ask that how much I am responsible in this, creating this problem. So if you take up that responsibility, yesterday we heard about responsible love. So Govind Prabhu was talking about responsibility in connection with many, of course, friendship and relationship with Krishna. But here we are just talking about husband and wife. Why fight? Because the nature is very different. The way the ego works is different. The way the expectations are different. The way the husband pursues, the way the wife pursues is different. If you don't have this knowledge, then you will be bewildered. And it will only end up with just some anguish. It will not be a joyful experience. So now I'll ask Premlila, you want to say anything about how you felt that...
How I fought for my marriage.
No, it's not that we were aware of it. Now we look back. It is not that the way you plus sitting, we attended some seminars and it changed our life or something. But when we looked back, I think there were a lot of things we can speak upon that how did it happen like this? That we were not compatible. We had our own issues. I'm sure she also felt that I can't stay with this man. How can I stay with this man? Why she has to say that? So you can begin from there. That if you felt that okay.
Yeah, I know. Where to start from? Okay. Ours was an arranged marriage. It's not that in our arranged marriage, it's not that we met and then after some time of courtship we decided to get married. It was decided by the parents and we had to just follow it. We had no choice. We both of us had no choice. Well, after getting married, initially it was fine, but then I realized that things are not working between us because I was, I think our nature is different. I'm sure people can make out because he's very sober, very inverted, I mean, what to say? Introvert. And I was, meeting people, joyful to meet people, very laughing away, bubbling, and which he didn't like it, which I didn't know, but from his expression. So, I think today I'm very easily saying that, but I know I went through lots of mental torture with this marriage because of her nature. Because he's not very social, and I'm being very social. And I don't know what, and once I remember I just I just told him that, I think, finish, And we became devotees. And after that, I said, I think I need a separation. And he was shocked. And he was thinking that he has always been perfect. How is that, I'm asking for a divorce. So he was shocked that I asked for divorce. Then, of course, when he said that, how can you talk like this, And it went on. And I really didn't know, because I could not go back to my parents to talk about my, issues between us. Because when I got married, my father said only one thing to me. If this marriage doesn't work, we blame you. So that was a big burden on my head. I didn't know how to carry on. And I knew that if anything happens, I will not be supported. So then somewhere I had to work hard on it. And what working hard is that I really wanted him to change, but I realized this man will never change. It's very tough to change. If people like Nityanand Priya, they may think, what Mataji is talking, Kesav Prabhu is such a sweet and sober person. He is sweet and sober, but not with his wife. But honestly, it took so many years for me to understand that I was looking at something in this man for my husband, and he was not that. But actually, he was something, there are some qualities. Like, for him, loving or caring for me was like, thinking about my spiritual life, thinking about whether I could chant my rounds, whether I finished my round, could I read Prabhupada's book. And I used to get frustrated. What is this man, Every time he talks about spiritual, never asks me about anything about my feeling, how I was doing, what I was doing, how bored I am, what I want to do in my life. Never asked me. But slowly, I learned to respect those qualities which I didn't, I saw, but which I wanted, it was not there still. But there are other qualities which I could see in him. Like, he was very committed to his spiritual master. He was very regular in his, whatever it is, sadhana. Many things he was very regular. But when he came to my emotional need, he was not there the way I wanted him. That emotional thing was not in him. But then it is not true, because I realized that he has the other way to express it. My way of expressing is very open, I express my feeling. But he was the one who will not express his feeling. He'll have it out, but it will be like this. And it was very difficult for me to understand. That language, you need a language to understand. Like, he was having his own language and I was having my own language. And I was expecting him to speak my language, and he didn't know how to speak my language. So we had lots of differences that way. And I'm telling you honestly, today we have differences. But I really feel that differences has something very centered, that we have some goal together. So we are trying to aspire and go towards that goal. But yes, I can say that I'm not saying that our marriage is working because, now we have become a perfect couple. We don't have arguments. We don't have anything. Like, one simple thing. I like to shop and he doesn't like to. Just doesn't like shopping. And I like to. Sometimes I just like to go and buy something, which he doesn't like. He just doesn't like. Like, I would like to go and meet people and, go for dinner. And he doesn't like. He just wants to be at home, read his thing. So there's so much of clash in that also. But we are learning to respect each other's whatever weaknesses, differences, and trying to love that person or respect the person for what he is. So yes, like what he said, that it's not that we have changed. We still have some of our nature, which is still there. But yes, we are just respecting each other the way they are. So I think that's what we decided, that, we need to fight for our marriage. Because others of marriage would have, really gone for I don't know what. Sometimes we both genuinely feel that Krishna consciousness is one thing which really kept us together. Really kept us together. Because Krishna consciousness is something, we really had something like a common goal. And that common goal really made us work towards it. Our responsibility towards others. like our own family, our devotee family, looking up to us, for everything. So we didn't wanted to disappoint them. So we realized that we need to work on marriage. And so many times we have sat together and spoken where we are going wrong, what is happening in our life, who is doing what and what is not helping each other. And then we started, even if it was difficult, I know that it was very, very difficult for him. I can to some extent say, it maybe was not so difficult for me to do something what he asked for. But I realized it was very difficult for him to do something what I wanted. It was difficult for him. But yes, the only thing I saw in him, he had a sincere desire to do it, but he could not do it. So I started respecting that also, that he wants to do it, but he cannot do it. So I accepted it, not expected, accepted it, and that's how we are still going on, I think.
Should I begin now? She never got a chance to speak like this.
Yeah, that's true. So thank you for this opportunity.
But yes, I totally agree with what she said. So then, now I speak from my side that what are the differences which was really very difficult for me to accept. Right from beginning, of course, from physical point of view, she was overweight for me. I always wanted her to reduce weight.
But one minute, I never forced him to get married. He said yes.
Actually, I had laid down one condition before getting married, that he should lose weight. And she really tried hard and she lost weight, only till we get married. Once we got married, she forgot about that. She knew that now we are committed. So anyway, this is a serious thing. About these things I do that. Any husband would like, she should be very attractive to his eyes. This is all husbands, they look out for it. So I also was. My wife should be like this. She was not what in my mind, how she was. So I was always trying to look at how beautiful is my wife, trying to. So that was the reason why we could not be very intimate. She could also understand that, he feels, like. But then, of course, several other issues about her behavior, the way she talks, she's so loud sometimes, And I said, you don't have to talk like this, it really makes me, okay, then some things which. But then how is it that, why my vision changed? The way she's saying that she started respecting me for, I have still not changed. Yeah, I can tell you that when we get married, the commitment is that husband should take care of her physical needs, her emotional and spiritual. So out of my ignorance, physical needs, yes, you provide what a woman needs, house, you earn, get money, and, and what do you need, In Hindi, as we say, roti, kapda, aur makan. Right? Itna to milna chahiye. With ki, okay. But I used to jump from physical to straight spiritual. I thought that is very advanced. I never bothered about the emotional needs, This is something very sensitive thing, which still I'm still trying, but this is something which I'm not able to, relate to that, what emotional needs, how do we relate, But of course I have become more wiser now. So now how did... One, the vision changed when His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Swami Maharaj, he was a brahmachari that time, as Devamrit Prabhu. I'm sure many of you now, he visits here, So we know him from these days when, even before he became a brahmachari. I mean, we were very fortunate to see the way his life has been so glorious. So no one thought about it. He's the one who took it up first, One day, Grihastha seminar. This was an eye-opener. But again, you're talking only about responsibilities. What is the role of a woman? What is the role of a man? What are the duties of a woman? These all ideal things, references from Bhagavatam, These are all ideal things. But one thing was aware, I think, is to be an husband is not an ordinary thing. It's a very serious thing. A lot of... It's not just chanting 16 rounds, following and giving classes, Bhagavatam, and devotees saying very nice class, very this, and among devotee circle you are appreciated. But then, see, any relationship is not an easy thing, I'm telling you. Just don't think it's only husband and wife. Even among friends, you heard yesterday, even friends, best friends can become worse enemies, right? And it's always the best friends. Because the foundation of the relationship is something very selfish. So what happened is, slowly I was observing her qualities which I didn't have. Especially service, She likes to serve. This is something very spontaneous for her. She doesn't care, If she gets an opportunity to serve, she will not care for her health. So I was amazed by her. Even in spite of her poor health, she will go out of the way. I said, at least I don't have this quality. So this is one, this I started seeing it, which before it was completely, I'm seeing only the external, only the physical part and, and the behavior or this. But this was really making me feel that I'm really grateful to have a wife like her. Then, the most crucial thing what happened is my mother was staying with us and she had Alzheimer's disease.
So, my mother-in-law lived with us, so she had this very physical problem. And it was something Prabhu, because it was his own mother, it was a little difficult for him to accept, her situation. And maybe because it was my mother-in-law and not my mother, so it is easier for me to accept the way her difficulties were. We're able to talk. So, then of course it became a responsibility for me that I had to take care because there was nobody else to take care of his mother. And she started living with us and her life was deteriorating, her health was deteriorating. It was becoming worse day by day. When they forget the bowel movements, they don't know where they're, passing, and they don't understand anything. And emotionally it was very difficult for him, but somehow by Krishna's mercy, if somebody will ask me what made you take care, because I felt that it's not that mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, it's not that we had a very bad relationship, but it's not that, mother and daughter's relationship. I want to be honest about it. But yes, I had a wonderful relation with my husband. So I was always grateful to her that feelings and attitude was there in me that, it is her son. She decided to give her son, to me as a husband. She accepted me as his wife. So that feeling for my husband was there. It is my attachment to my husband and, the way he was taking care, So I felt it was responsibility of mine to take care of his mother. And I think it was a difficult task, and somewhere Prabhuji was feeling very, I don't know, what did he feel, but he was feeling very, I could take care of his mother. So.
Yeah, that was one of them. Like Alzheimer's, I'm sure you all know, Alzheimer's is not an easy case. They completely forget if she had breakfast, and within minutes she will forget that, she had taken breakfast. So everything was coming on her. So it was not that she was very harsh also, but that harsh was also an expression of, concern. It was a very difficult task. So this is one thing when I recollect, my God, this is something amazing. How can someone do like this? And not only that, in her own family, I saw her father was going through difficulties, and she has brothers, but somewhere she took up this, challenge just for the sake of her father. She will go out of the way. So she will sacrifice many other things. And now recently, her brother, she has said one of the brother was a very miserable life, very miserable. He was doing very well one time and he became bankrupt. He was on the street. There was no one to really take care of him. I'm talking about a case where there is no one for him. And she was the one. Sister, she said, So when you see these qualities, then that appears more beautiful. So we say that, it's because I began with the beauty, right? I started saying that, but there's a saying in English that beauty is skin deep, isn't it? So the real beauty is external beauty. They don't last long because in the course of time they all change. I know. The most this is a common thing among Indian. I think Indian wives, they put on weight later, right? The husband says you have put on weight, but real beauty is the nature. The nature which remains for a longer time. All the external beauty, they don't last long. They just dwindle. So my vision was for that, the real nature of a person. So this brought out our relationship with all those differences. So these are the things which brought us closer. So actually, this is what is relevant. What I want to share is that in husband and wife relationship, always there will be differences. Don't ever think that there will be no differences. But how those differences should bring you closer, that is a skill. Now see, in all relationship, for example, if you are a doctor, you need skill to operate, right? Or you may be an accountant, you need some skill. But similarly, for human relationship, you need skills. Gone are those days those days are gone. Like we have seen our parents, like her parents or my parents. I don't think anyone talked to them about, any seminar or, relationship issue and all. They had such a perfect relationship, But now it is different. Is it true? Now it is different. Why this is all happening now? Because the expectations are now different. So the more closer you are, the more the expectation, and when it is not fulfilled, to that degree you go far. Isn't it? To that degree it is painful. So coming back to the same topic this is no doubt a glorious thing. It is a very glorious ashram. And to be together. So the last one I said is about the brother. So the way she took care of her brother, and that was something. It is not so easy to take care of a person who is completely dependent financially, emotionally. He was on dialysis, he had to. So I am away from home. Even when my mother was sick, I am away from home. So I will never ever feel, even though she is my mother, but she is there with her. So these qualities really brought us together. So how should I say that? Did we fight for it?
No, actually what we really want to say that when you say that fight for your marriage doesn't mean that, you fight for it. Like he says about how he never saw any good qualities in me. But it doesn't, and we wanted to give up. Like I wanted to give up, not he. Actually I spoke to him that, I want a divorce. I wanted to give up. But you see that slowly we stuck to that relationship. We tried to work on that relationship. It took him so many years to see, even if there is little good qualities. And it took me so many years to accept him the way he is. So what is happening is nowadays marriages, that things don't work, we just want to break up the relationship because we can't take the stress. And also, unfortunately, the society where we are living, they support those new ideas of separating. There is so much of support coming. Yeah, but in those days, even if our parents had that problem, but they never, when they fall back upon, society or fall back upon family, it is a support where they say, no, you fight, we are there, you just leave, do something, do like that, try to do something so that you carry on this marriage. Similarly, to have a very good marriage, what we need is not an instant result. Nothing comes out instantly. If a two-person has to come together, they have to work on a marriage. Especially like once I think somebody mentioned, especially in your relationship when things go wrong, instead of blaming others, we should take the responsibility. That if we think we were right, I don't think we would have had problem in the marriage. So when we take the responsibility on ourselves, we surely will make very good progress in this relationship. So what exactly we want to say about fighting for your marriage is that it is our birthright to be happy, the marriage which has been, Vedically done. So why should we give up because we have differences? I think we need to fight and find each other more, more attractive, more respectful, and more kind and more accommodating, where we try to adjust with each other and try to help each other to carry forward this.
Yeah, to conclude that, what she is saying about, yes, all these things looks very, again, ideal, but it's not so easy. So we need strength for this also.
Yeah.
So this strength comes through spiritual life. So if you are going to work on this example that, stay, and if there is no, you are not deriving any strength, if there is no Krishna consciousness angle there, it is going to be difficult. We may have many books on counseling, there will be counselors, there will be seminars, you take help book or this and that. But if this is not there, the strength is to come. So in our life, I think one big advantage what we had is, no matter what differences we had as people, but we had joint responsibilities. Our responsibility in serving in the temple or any other, it was joint. So, she had to take, I had to be with her. So this joint responsibility, when you take up some joint responsibility, you are together, you're doing some service together. It's not that she is doing her service. Of course, many service you can't be together. Like, of course, she used to not make garlands. In garland service, there is nothing I can do there, right? There are many service which is you have to do, but there are some services where you are together. Like, devotee care, Bhakti Vriksha, what you call here, right? Where of course it is joint. So obviously when it is a joint, you come together. So there are many such services when we came to it. There you used to derive that strength, spiritual strength. And those weaknesses or differences could easily be transcended. This is my experience. I mean, this is what I see, that how is it that, you are the same person, I am the same person, we are staying together. But so many years we have been serving together because we both agreed with one. Yes. The purpose of our life is realization. We have to become God conscious. That's what is Grihastha ashram actually. Isn't it? So why do you get married? Why you want to marry a devotee? Why? Because the purpose is together we will go together jointly with the same objective. So this is how the service has made a big difference. So fine. So whether if she says it is, you give the term fighting or, but without proper, as I used to hear my spiritual master, he would say for Grihastha life, this is something very important. He says, first thing is your sadhana. Now, imagine for a Grihastha life, the top priority in your life is your, what is sadhana, right? Actually, to have good relationship is also sadhana. Don't say that, you can't separate. I will have my sadhana, but relationship I will not care, Hell with that relationship. No. But at least the basic sadhana, which is very important, that is first. Then what is second? To have a very proper, stable livelihood. There should be a steady source of income, which plays a very important role for peace. And the third thing is family. So now this is the third thing is coming out of the family members. And the fourth thing is, then you share what you have experienced with others, that is preaching. So now we are preaching.
Yeah.
So this is preaching, where we preach. But sometimes Grihasthas, we have seen it, because of some maturity, they jump from sadhana to preaching. So same thing is about physical, emotional and spiritual. You can't jump emotional. It's a science, I can see some phases who are planning to get married. Please, the dynamics are different. husband and wife relationship dynamics are different. It is not going to just happen by staying together, especially now. You have to work upon understanding the needs. If you have to look out for the needs of that person, that means you have to hear attentively when she speaks. Not just speak and your mind is somewhere else. Then, so when you hear attentively, you know that actually what she is speaking, what actually is what she wants. Otherwise, it becomes selfishness that we don't hear. But when you speak, it should be heard. For the male ego, when I say something, it has to be done. If she is not done, that means she is not a nice one. So these type of details, these are all skills. I got to talking about skills. So skills is definitely, there is a scope for skills. Like any human relationship, without any skills, it is very difficult. And His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Swami himself, when he traveled for preaching, I used to ask him, Prabhu, how is your preaching? So he says, all over the world, wherever I travel, the most common and the serious problem is relationship. This is the problem. So then he'll add, unless your heart is, and of course this is very profound statement, unless your heart is overflowing, with love for Krishna, it's very difficult to have good relationship. Now that means we wait till we have love for Krishna, my God. No, what he wanted to say is, it's a big challenge. It's a big challenge. So that is why it is glorious, it's a great responsibility. Same time, it's a big challenge. So you have to. So the word fighting comes, it is sacred, isn't it? Marriage is a very sacred thing. That is why it is performed in the temple or in the church or in the masjid. Because it's a serious commitment. Because there is something to really achieve. But if there is no understanding about that achievement and only look into that, how we can just at a very superficial level, then the foundation is very weak and that is the time the problem becomes. So coming back, problems will be there. Don't think that there will be no problem. Everything is going on well, sure there is a problem also. It is not possible there is no problem. You agree with me?
Yeah, I know. I can see that there are some problems.
Or the mentality is like the same that Prabhupada's a famous example. If everything is fine, it's just like that ostrich mentality. Just close your eyes, everything is fine. It's not possible. Everything can't be fine. Maybe the degree may be different. Of course, people may not be fighting or something. But there is a scope for, improving the relationship because devotional service in Grihastha ashram can be performed only together. You have heard this word ardhangini? I don't think there is an English word to this, right? There is an English word to ardhangini. This is a Sanskrit word which says that one husband and wife, when they commit, there's a commitment. See, it's a serious commitment. Everything in life, unless there is a commitment, you will quit. It's a serious thing. So when you say ardhangani, at the time of marriage, they become one. I mean, the bodies are separate, but actually they are one. And separation is only at the time of death. The relationship is separated only when one person has to die. The relationship over. But of course, then the controversial thing about, especially when we are in the Western, whether it's Australia or US or UK, many times, they see, oh, you are from India. India is the place, casteism, or, you believe in reincarnation. And that, what is that, sati? You people force women to burn alive? Who understands that, It's not true, first of all, that, no women were burnt alive forcefully. Never. It was happened in Rajasthan once because the Mughals. So then, just to protect the chastity, it happened. What is that word called in Rajasthan? That the queens, they would. But the truth is that because it's ardhangani, she would think that what is the purpose of my life to live for? No, I was living only, when he is there, I used to be there. Now, why should I be living for? But we are not saying, but that is what is projected, that India means it is like this. No. India is a place where we have these values. This is what is our culture. And this is what can be showcased. So when I said it is Grihastha ashram is glorious, and the place where if it is properly followed, it is Vaikunta. Don't think it is. It is. What is Vaikunta? You are very eager to go back, right? You are eager to go back to that place. You're from your job, you will feel that go and meet. Let me go back home. Otherwise, you may be. That's not a place for me to go now. So it is possible. So yes. You have to work on it, you have to fight for it. No doubt there is a lot of sacrifice, there is tolerance, there is forgiveness, you have to accommodate. Then, but anyway, that is anyway part of our, isn't it, our sadhana? No? When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Trinadapi suni chena, we very joyfully say that. But that's what it is in life. Because differences will be there. Two people, how can they be same? How can two people be same? How can there be views be same? How can there be desires be same? But they're together. So, yes? So, well, we are not prepared. It is not that what we are going to talk. So, again, we are sharing with you that you all are very nice, sincere people here. I don't know whether we'll meet again, but we want to just leave here that this is a very serious thing. It's a very serious commitment, but then it needs some skill, and each person takes responsibility. It is not that, you understand responsibility. Actually, I am the cause of this problem. So you take responsibility. It's not that she is the cause of problem, he is the cause of problem, so he has to change. I'm telling you, we are not changed. Could you change me? I could not change you. We could not change you. But you can resolve the differences.
You could not change
many things we have changed. My hair has turned grey, you have also become grey. We have aged and all. It's very interesting. I heard one Prabhupada disciple. I don't want to mention their name. Like I met very revered, respected, Mataji, Prabhupada, very well. So, Mataji, I said, yesterday I was hearing your husband speaking. And he was just talking about glorifying you, and you know what she said? Yeah, we are enjoying the fruits of many years of turmoil. So just my point is, don't expect something happening instantly. Nowadays is the days in everything push button. You want everything tucked. This is not happening. It's not changing. It takes time, especially the formal years. Those who are just preparing to get married. The early years are the years where we develop relationship. Okay?
Yeah, I think we should.
So now I have to listen to her. She's saying, now stop it, enough. So thank you very much. We can now interact. If there is any questions, we'll try to answer if there is any. Or you, I'm sure there are, I can see senior persons sitting here, many people are here. It is our arrogance to come and sit and talk about, what is Grihastha. We are not here to talk about, we're just telling you that this is, when Prabhupada said, it is, yes, it is frustrating, yes, it is frustrating. But at the same time, it is glorious, yes, it is glorious. Can there be Vaikunta? Yes, it can be Vaikunta atmosphere. Who is responsible? We are responsible. This is our culture.
We or I am responsible?
Huh?
I am responsible.
I am responsible, each one of them equally. So I see this, Radha Vallabh temple. I see, most of us all are people who have come from India here. But you all are living scattered here and there. But let this be what is India. India should be known for these values, this commitment. This is the nature of, especially in the day where marriages are just breaking left and right. You know that, right? You know that a few years back I heard that the divorce rate is going down in US. You know why it is going down, right? Yeah, because why to take the trouble of getting married, then, getting into that type of, that all those alimonies and this and that. Why to take that trouble? It is such a difficult thing. Live in relationship. I mean, it may sound harsh, but what is living? I mean, no commitment living, is it different from, I don't know, should I use that word? Is it different from any type of, is it very animalistic? No? No, it is only that sense, that just, well, human life means responsibility, commitment. There is no response, no commitment. We'll just, so don't, it's happening. Everything, it's in Mumbai, it's a trend. Mumbai, it's a trend now. Boys and girls, they also just say that fine, we want to just. So where are we heading for? Because we have giving up our values, culture, which Prabhupada very clearly has, it's a very great, I'm sure all of you feel very grateful that you have some connection here. But it should not be just because here in this place, I sometimes see that, people who have left India and are here, they value it more here. Because they remember their origin there, and then suddenly here it is valued, everything, children are taken care, this, Bhagavad Gita class, Mridang class, music class, dance class, this, and we are going for this. Is it? It should not be. Sorry. It's a very vast topic, sometimes you go on talking. So for you, this is a question. They are very scared, so they give in writing.
The question is, can you please explain how to work together on it? Is going to shopping together considered spending quality time? If not, then how to nurture the relationship if one partner is hard pressed for time? First, the question is this: is going shopping together considered spending quality time? Yes, definitely. It's considered as a quality time, but you also should understand if your partner is not very inclined towards, going for shopping, it does not be considered that he doesn't care for you. Okay, it's not that he doesn't care for you, it's that, or she doesn't care for you, it's just that he's not interested in. But yes, then the partner also should make, even if he doesn't care, doesn't like it, he should make a time because he knows his wife would like to go for shopping. At least for her or his pleasure, the spouse should try to do that. And regarding hard, pressing time, I feel when there is a question of relationship, how can there be a question of time? You have to give time. If you want anything to work in life, you have to give time. And for relationship, you have to give time. However pressed, he's having job and he's not able to, somewhere he should consider this and try to adjust in such a way that he gives time to family. Right? So that culture is not there because now the need is so much. Sometimes the husbands have to work very hard. But if wives are very cooperative, try to live a simple life, maybe we can give that faith to the husband that, we don't need so much. You can work little less and we can all spend a quality time together. So this is Prabhu, you want to say something?
This is a question I think you can answer this question. Just see again. My wife has a lot of respect for my family, but I feel short on respect. What advice do you have for me? How should I change my thinking or help my partner to rise up? I'm not very clear about this question. My wife has a lot of that means family means to his parents, right? But I feel short on respecting. Now, I feel short on respecting whom? To his own parents?
But I feel short on
respecting.
Is that she doesn't respect you? Or, I think it's little...
It's okay, but you can... wife has a lot of respect for his parents.
Yeah.
But he has no respect for his parents. Does it mean?
Maybe he doesn't respect his parents.
Yeah. It's not very clear. So what advice do you have for me? How should I change my thinking or help my partner? It's not very clear. That's why I'm reading again and again. Huh?
Yeah, whoever is it, can you please rewrite the question again?
No, or you can in general,
then
because this is another, at least, issue about extended, family members playing a role in husband and wife relationship.
Because I really don't want to speculate, I would like to understand the question.
It's not very clear about what exactly.
Somebody can write this, whoever can write this question
again, and you can send it here.
Okay, what advice would you give when partner isn't prepared to discuss issue as they have preconceived notion they are right?
This is what. You had any problem like this with me? Then your answer can be very accurate then.
It is true, sometimes maybe the Prabhujis, they have that thinking that they think they are right. But it is, somewhere Krishna has made we women, has given us some power, that power which a woman can break the family or make the family. So that same power we should use to make our husband, instead of saying something, by a verbal behavior, by verbal words, we have to behave in such a way that they understand that we are very uncomfortable with their attitude or with the way they think. Sometimes, like you said that, they think they are right. Now, I have a question to this Mataji, whoever is asking. When your husband, is right, does he say that, that Krishna is not a supreme personality of Godhead? Does he say that? Or he says that you don't serve, service is all bogus. If such thing is there, then you need to consult, you need to talk. But if it's petty thing, he has his way of thinking, he has his way of talking, why bring that in your relationship? Just just give up those things, Don't give so much of attention to, in the sense, don't neglect him, but don't make it a big issue in your life. There are something you need to just forgive and forget about it, not make a big issue. But if something very gross is a question of your survival or your question of your child's survival, then yes, there needs to be a discussion. That is a time you really need to make your husband realize that something is not very comfortable to you. But being very kind, not very harsh with your words, harsh with your behavior. Slowly and softly and patiently, waiting for his response. You have to wait for his positive response. It's just a matter of time. And also remember one thing. Husbands are little, they have their ego, okay? When I say that male ego, it's not a very negative ego. If the male ego is not there, then he's not a man. Because he has an ego, he is a man. And we women, we know how to handle those ego, right? We know how to handle. We should know how to handle. So if there is something going wrong, then we should take the responsibility, learning those skills, how to make our husband realize that this attitude is breaking me inside. By not, verbally abusing or verbally fighting or disrespecting him or demeaning him or criticizing him or publicly making him low in front of others. This will not work in relationship. This only cracks your relationship. But even knowing his difference, even knowing his nature, you try with your good qualities, help your husband to realize that this is really hurting me. That is a real thing. And it is difficult. I'm not trying to be very ideal. It is very difficult. But yes, This is what life is all about. Most of the marriages are breaking because we don't want to face difficulties. We want everything to be the way we want. And things are not going to be the way we want. We need to work on relationship. I hope this answer is okay. In case not satisfied, maybe another question.
I just remember once in Bhagavatam class, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj was giving the class, and after the end of the class, there is one householder. He asked this question, and he said that I tried this, I tried that, but he was complaining about his wife. What should I do? So he was expecting some maybe, oh my God, some sympathy. So you want to know what was the answer? So Maharaj replied, tolerate the way I have been tolerating you. So anyway, there is a question which says that how we got into Krishna consciousness, who was first, how the other partner joined. And yeah, this is also very interesting. It is first me, but not me also, same time. I is the one who was introduced first, but the one who preached me was very intelligent. He later came and spoke to her because he saw that this person is not going to accept. But the beads were given to me first that I should chant, and I never started. It took a long time for me to chant. But then she took it up, but she took it up very nicely. So introduced to me first, but the one who took seriously is she. So in my house, I didn't even know that we had stopped for several months, that we don't put onion, garlic, all those already been started. I didn't even know that. She said, we have been doing this for the last 6 months. So yes, it is, she is the one. See, this is the advantage again, if we have to be Krishna conscious, when our partner is Krishna conscious, it's of great advantage. She is always there, if you're not getting up in the morning. She's the one who would definitely say that, why you're not getting up in the morning? Isn't it good or bad? Someone to at least, this is association. So, and how the other partner joined and breathed. So there was no challenge as far as both of it. In one sense, it is true that we are of both different nature, but as far as appealing is concerned, both of us, same time we got, it was very appealing. Like maybe I was, for me it was philosophy, that to hear the philosophy more appealing. For her it is of course seva, and she started chanting, but it's like that, but it was her first. You want to hear this?
Okay, once you have kids, husband and wife's life changes completely. Sometimes kids are very demanding, and in that situation, couple find it very difficult to find quality time. What do you suggest in this situation? That's why before having kids, when husband and wife have a very good quality time, when the child comes, the problem doesn't increase, actually it decreases. That's why it is very important that when we are newly married, we should have very good quality time with each other to understand each other. Once you understand each other, then there is no problem. Even if there not 1, 2, 3, 4 children come, there is never a problem. Because both of them take the responsibility. They understand the focus is somewhere else now. So together with the children, they have a quality time together. Their quality time doesn't become my time with my wife or my time. It becomes quality time with me, my wife, me, my husband, and my child. So it becomes together. So very important that you develop that relationship with your husband where there will be no misunderstanding later on. In case, even after having that relationship, if you feel that, it is cracking your relationship with your husband, it's your duty to make your husband feel cared for and wanted. It may be somewhere we are going wrong, even for caring for our children. We become so caring for our children that we don't even realize that our husbands are existing. And we should know how to balance this. When we know how to balance this, then there'll be no problem. But yes, if you're having problem where you feel that husband is feeling neglected, I think we should stand up and take responsibility to make your husband feel that you have time and you have caring for him. Now you may say that, but I have a child, my child is demanding. Yes, your child is demanding, but that is not so demanding that you can't emotionally connect it with your husband. That, when he wants breakfast, when his clothes need to be ready, you cannot say, I have to take care of a child. You should know how to balance both. You have to take care of him and also take care of the child. The child may be small, whatever, but you have to. But when there is, good relationship, even there is, little differences, it will not create so much of problem. But if it's really create a problem, please stand up and take up your responsibility. Try to think what you're doing that which is really making him feel so insecure. Is that, I don't know.
So there is a question, this is before you get married. Is it necessary to match the horoscope?
Oh.
Does it really work? I don't know. What your laugh means, I don't know. Is it work or it doesn't work? See, horoscope is a science. We all believe it's a science. Only problem is the one who reads it. We don't have people who read it, accurately. So that is why the same horoscope is so to two different people. It will be always, most of the times it is contradictory. So horoscope gives you a direction in life. Of course, it is very bad. It is very bad horoscope. Then it's might well, why? Because it will be very difficult for you to. It very clearly says. Now, if it is not, then it is just giving you some direction. Like in your journey, that it says that, this way you are going to face this problem. So you know in advance that this is a problem. If the commitment is there, then jointly you face the problem. There are several key. We know that, it is said in front of the deities, if you have heard this, all the lines they get erased. And there are several cases where I have heard. Why? Because the one who has read the horoscope is not very accurate. We, in our country, the topmost industrialist, he would not do anything unless he consults. And he is a topmost industrialist. And imagine what type of astrologer he will consult. Has to be a top person. But we have seen in his life, in his son's life, things have happened. It is nowhere mentioned in the horoscope. And I also know cases where a person waited 10 years to find a right match because horoscope was not matching. And then he found. And within 6 months his marriage broke. So I am not saying that horoscope has no role to play. We have to. It gives you some indication about the nature. So there is some compatibility. But then does it really work or not is... commitment. You have to work on it. Unless it is something very grossly a mismatch, is very abusive and I hope I answered this. It's a very sensitive question, very much discussed, not discussed. So we do match horoscope, but once you have matched or you are many times you just meeting, many times it can happen that our nature matches, and then once you accepted it, then it's a question of how committed you are there. Correct? Yeah. I'll keep it short. Yeah. Now, if only one partner always takes responsibility of everything or anything, what goes wrong? Then will it not affect one's self-respect in long run? Please give advice. That means only one person is working, other person is not working on anything. It's like that. One is active, one is passive. I say.
If one partner always takes responsibility of everything or anything that goes wrong, then will it not affect one's self-respect in a long run? If you're saying that if one of them is taking responsibility, then why is the question of self-respect? If I'm going to take responsibility of this relationship, then where is the question of self-respect? I have taken the responsibility. I want to take responsibility of this marriage. Even if he doesn't want to listen, I want to do something so that this marriage works. I will do the sacrifice so that this marriage works. I'll become more broad-minded so this marriage works. I want to be more skillful, take advice, work hard on it so this marriage works. So then where is the question of self-respect? There is no question of self-respect because we have decided to take this responsibility. Right? This self-respect question only comes when we start, we feel that you are telling us to take responsibility, but I feel that other person doesn't take. So if you have taken the responsibility of the marriage, then the question of self-respect doesn't come. So take responsibility, whoever feels, and trust me, even if one person takes responsibility of the marriage will work. And that is a guarantee, that marriage will work. Anyone, whoever feels, just take the responsibility to see that marriage works. You will be happy. You will definitely find happiness in this relationship.
Read out now.
Okay. I feel like I'm in the same situation as you were many years ago, where I see our relationship breaking apart. How do I make this relationship work when there is absolutely no room for discussion between us? Please advise. Okay. Like whoever is asking this question, and then you said that I'm in the same situation as you were some years ago, and that where your relationship's really breaking apart. So I want to tell you what happened between us. So, I had this nature of being very loud. I speak loudly when I want to be heard. And so when I want to speak to him, I would be so loud, Prabhuji, it's not like this. And he used to say, quiet down. I'm not going to reply. You quiet down, you speak quietly, we can have a discussion. Others no talking. And I used to get more angry. Now, if this is how you want to have a discussion, it will never happen. Okay? Now, to such an extent, I've still not changed. I still loudly. But before I start, I said, Prabhu, see, I'm angry. I'm going to speak loudly, but don't take it as an offense. And I speak still loudly. Now, because he understands, So when I get angry also, he understands, oh, she's angry. Even when I have to, fight and I have to say something to my son when I'm angry, he goes and says, Mother, don't misunderstand. She's just angry. When she's angry, she speaks like this. Now, I am saying, if this is the way you want to have a discussion, don't have such discussion. That discussion really doesn't work. When you want to have a discussion, when you're having a tiff, just keep quiet. Don't talk about it. Just forgive it. I'm sure it will never happen that there are some light moments in your life. Somewhere you don't have any tiffs or anything. That time you can be very submissively ask him, why you are so angry with me? I want to discuss. This is what I have. I have a problem. These are the skills. When we speak about skill, we have to learn how to speak to someone. Even the speech, even the tone which comes out from our mouth, it has to be very palatable to the spouse. He should be able to understand your language. Till he doesn't understand your language, he thinks he will not able to. Same thing, why I give an example. When I used to scream, he used to not understand, but I still scream. But now he understands that language, what I'm screaming. When I say, he understands the language, that I'm upset, I want attention. So, but initially, it was same thing, but he never listened to me. So it takes somebody years to understand. I know he made so much of compromise, he has adjusted with me, he has adjusted with my nature. But it takes time. So don't expect result to come today, now, right now. No, please, it never happens. It takes time. Everything takes its own time. So don't get disappointed. Don't ever think of walking out of a marriage. Trust me, walking out of a marriage is not a solution to anyone. It is so easy. What do you need to walk out of a marriage? Just pack your bags and get out. But to make marriage work, it needs so much of maturity. It needs so much of growth. You need to grow as a person. It gives us so much of opportunity to grow as a human being, grow as a person, grow as a wonderful person who's kind to understand what other people are going through. Again, when you said in this that there is no room for discussion, you have to find out why my husband doesn't want to discuss. What is the problem? What is making him so that he doesn't want to discuss? Try to find out. Try to understand. Then ask him what is the way he wants to discuss things. So this will help your relationship. Okay? So this is, I really feel, because I'm just giving my example, how it happened. It takes time for us to understand.
Yeah, this is one, I'm sure it's a very common thing happening. Like sometimes it happens that the devotees, one is very enthusiastic about devotional service, the other one is, but not up to the extent the first one would like to. How should the person who is more enthusiastic act or behave?
Very respectfully. Enthusiasm comes out of love. You can't force enthusiasm in anyone. We can encourage people to be enthusiastic, but that person should realize. And maybe you're judging his enthusiasm or her enthusiasm. But they have their own taste where they are very enthusiastic. So you have to see what makes them more enthusiastic. So you have to help them to understand them and try to help them to become enthusiastic. But you can't be very bossing over them to trying to say that be enthusiastic, do this, why you're not doing that, why you're not doing this. We cannot do that. We have to be patiently trying to help that person to be very enthusiastic, whoever it may be. By your own kindness, by your own understanding, you have to help that person to be very enthusiastic. But you can't force things on them.
Yeah, there's, just to add upon that, we are, it is just a self-righteousness that, we all have taken vows, then, one person may be finding it difficult, another person is very easy. But it can turn around any time. Don't be so proud. If anyone is feeling that I'm very staunch and, I can do that, and the other person is finding it difficult, there can be a time where you need help. So the same mode, when someone is finding it difficult, it should be to help that person. To help. There should be a sign of helping rather than being very confronting and, why you're not there. So this is my wife always has a feeling that you are not taking me anywhere, going out. I am sometimes puzzled how to fulfill. As wife is not specific and not sure of the real need. What is your advice?
I always have the feeling that you are not taking me.
I got so many questions are there. But I'm sure many of the questions will be same.
When she said that you're not taking
you.
me anywhere, it means that you're not giving me time. If you give time to your wife, then she'll not ask you to take anywhere, because she's asking for time. So it is very necessary that you spend time with your wife. One thing I want to tell you, that I can vouch for all the wives. For the one simple request or suggestion to the husband. Trust me, you give good time to your wife will do the best things for you. Just give time. Don't, she will not even ask anything material so much. See, the nature of a woman is that she's mostly attracted to the material things. She looks for the saris, she looks for vessels. Ghar mein 10 chammach pada hai, but still she wants to go and buy another 2 chammach. I mean, you see, your husband's always saying that, my wife, she just likes to shop. You tell me, we are supposed to be Shastra-wise, less intelligent. Okay? Now what do you expect a woman to do? When she doesn't have, so much taste for reading, so much taste for this, obviously she'll go for shopping. Honestly, I know you people are laughing, but trust me, she obviously goes for shopping. You give her time, you try to understand her, she will not ask anything. She will like to be with you, she like to serve with you. You go to temple, she want to serve, you do service, she also want to do service. So whatever you do, don't neglect her need, a need of her time. Give her time, you just see how she will also progress with you spiritually. Okay, so taking out doesn't mean that you have to take her to the beach or anything. You try, when you give her time, she will tell you what exactly she wants.
See, these are the challenges of Grihastha ashram. I just said challenges, now see, so...
He has a problem.
This is it's a mediation question. Why is it important to marry a devotee? If you can't find a devotee wife, husband, how bad could the marriage go, marrying a karmi? Yes, this is a very, again, a common thing about. We are not saying that there are devotees only there who visit the temple. You think devotees are only there who come to ISKCON temple? Bahar ka devotees nahi hai? That's a very wrong thing. There are devotees. There can be husbands outside, there can be wives outside. But there is a little risk in it. The risk is, but there are several cases where they have really, they have been introduced after they got married. And it has worked out. But there are exceptions. But moreover, it is seen that if you have a wife who is also has the same, interest, and it is easy. It's easy. And what we have experienced for ladies, for them, if they marry someone outside, sometimes it happens because parents don't understand and she is very devoted. For her, it becomes very difficult. But for men, it is not the same. If he marries someone who is outside, he can still continue his Krishna consciousness. Even if he's... But then, usually it becomes a little difficult because when we say it's together, it has to be together. But still, this will happen. We are not saying that it can't. You can look out, but there is a risk. If you are fully willing to take responsibility for her or him together, then yes. But then another dimension, like I remember my spiritual master, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, saying that these girls who come to me to take shelter. Now, I mean, this is his perspective. I mean, you can take it how you want. He said these girls, young girls, whose many times the parents are not supportive, they don't understand, they come to me, they are like my daughters. You understand? So Guru is saying that they are like my daughters. But if anyone comes forward and says that, Guru Maharaj, I will take responsibility for her. Someone is coming forward. So obviously in the eyes of Guru Maharaj, that person is very glorious, because he's taking away his burden. No? Of course, it's a burden of love. So many young girls, they are, but then what about their marriage? So you understand, whoever is asking this question, whether yes, you can marry, but it will be glorious for someone, you marry someone who is also taking shelter, even though there is differences, but you are serving your spiritual master by taking up the responsibility of one of his daughter. Is okay? So read, you can read it.
How should one deal with anger, not just to your spouse, but in general with devotees, and people at work. As I have a problem, I get frustrated really quick if someone doesn't listen to me. I want to change, but it's not working. Please advise.
This question is specifically to you.
I don't have an answer because I still get angry.
Anyway, this is again a very common problem. We all are becoming angry. You know, the root cause of why we become angry is because the more the nature we our sense, it is not gratified, isn't it? Your Bhagavad Gita shloka, you know it. Philosophy. The degree it is not gratified, to that degree we become angry. So that means the problem is within. Within it is there, because it is not gratified, become angry. So it's something to look into that. Again, it is not that anger is good or bad. Anger can also be used properly. Like mothers also become angry to their children. But that anger is out of love. So you ask before you become angry with anyone. Like I remember once one brahmachari asked this in management especially. In management, we have to get our work done. So we have to chastise them. So the answer he got is, you can chastise, but before chastising, ask her, do you love this person? If you don't love this person, then you should be careful, before you become angry. You don't have the right to become angry. If you love, you can. Otherwise, yes, anger is something which we have to work on, and it is said that it's very dangerous. There is only D letter missing. You put D, it becomes danger. So, Prabhupada gives example of, yes, if you are, Prabhupada is to become angry. But Prabhupada's anger was, of course, for what is to become angry. Our anger is such that, even once the event is over, still we are influenced by that anger. We are still, But a person who is advanced, he will use the anger like a tool. He can use it anger. When he wants to become angry, he'll become angry. When he doesn't want, he can turn it off on. So anger is very bad, one sense, and we know why it is. Because it pulls you down. Because in state of anger, you can do anything. You ask most of the criminals, they themselves regret, I don't know what had happened, I became angry. And what is the use, So anger is something to be worked upon seriously, and that comes through purification.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
Yeah, anger is also due to lots of frustration and hurt in that person. That person really needs to work on his hurts. When there are some wounds, if you don't try to heal your wounds, so even somebody looks at the wound, that gives you pain. So you should realize that your anger is not because of the other person's behavior or because other person's activity or other person's whatever. It is because of there's some hurt in yourself which needs to be healed first. So we really need help in such situation. So we should ask for guidance from some seniors who can help us to come out of that hurt feeling and come out of that anger to help ourselves to have good relationship.
So there are several questions in this one chit.
Yeah. Why the expectation in relationships are too high nowadays?
Read out.
Now, why the expectation in relationships are too high now?
Why the expectations in relationship too high? Why
high.
Now it is high?
Yeah, why now it is high?
So why it is now high?
Prabhu, this is not, I don't know, this is my feeling, or Prabhu or Mataji, this is my feeling. The expectation is very high because the surroundings are such where we are expected to, like when things doesn't work, we just want to give up things. When the surroundings are such, we also expect so many things. Like, I'm not talking about only on marriage. Like I was just thinking that my expectation is my husband should be like this. Okay, my husband should be like this. But he's not like this. And I see, that one, when the husband was not like that, she did like this. She gave up or she fought. They had a verbal fight. So we have these such examples surrounding us. So we learn from these surroundings. So our expectation goes increasing. See, this may not be a right answer, but this is how I have seen in my life, and I'm just speaking, that when expectation went very high, I always wanted to know that why I'm expecting so much from other person. Why I'm expecting so much? Because I'm learning from other people that how to expect from others. But I find that it's also disappointing. But whoever is asked this question can ask someone else also, for this answer, because I think I'm not able to answer this question properly. Someone said, for good married life, better not to listen at all the times. I want to know if anybody's marriage has worked because they didn't listen all the time. I really want to know if somebody's marriage has worked because they didn't listen all the time. So I doubt whether it really works, because if you don't listen, your marriage really doesn't work. You need to listen to each other. Prabhu, if you want to say something. It is hard to take responsibility if anything goes wrong. I think because of false ego and because we are always together. So it is hard to take responsibility if anything goes wrong. Yeah, it is definitely. To take responsibility about wrong what you have done is very difficult. But trust me, when you take such responsibility, you will see that how you will have a wonderful relationship, and how also you'll be growing as a wonderful person when you take responsibility of the mistakes what you have done. Sometimes I consider that if I would spend more time on relationship, then sadhana may go out of the picture. How can you have sadhana when your relationship is not working? I don't know, when you're not able to have good relation with your child, you're not able to have good relation with your wife, or you are not able to have good relation with your parent. It is very difficult to have sadhana to do, because you are constantly thinking about how to back answer this person, how to retaliate with this person, how I should have spoken to this person. Your mind is thinking about that relationship. So how can we do sadhana? So to do a very high standard of sadhana, we need to have a good relationship. When we have good relationship, we'll be able to do sadhana without getting distracted. Otherwise, whenever we are doing sadhana, we'll be only thinking about our relationship, how the bitter relationships are. So, to have a good sadhana, we need to have very good relationship. And of course, to have good relationship, the strength comes from your sadhana. So don't forget that. Doesn't mean that you stop doing sadhana and only work on your relationship. That will also not work. You have to work on your relationship, but also you should have a good sadhana, so that you get strength to work on.
After considerable long period in our marriage, I feel like sometimes you should understand what I want without me asking for it.
Then you wouldn't. Then you need to marry a god. I'm sorry, but God is the only one who understands without you need to tell him. His husbands are not God. Husbands are not God, and especially husbands need to be told. It's not demeaning them, but I really feel they need to be told. Because I know you all are laughing because we are very complicated people. Because we are very complicated. We ourselves don't know what we want. So that's why husbands are confused. So you better, like once somebody asked that question, my wife says, you're not taking me out, I don't understand. She doesn't tell me what she means. So it's like that. We are very complicated. Our husbands are not able to understand. So we need to open up and say. So God, your husband is not a God. So please open up and say in a very nice way that he can understand your language.
See, there are several questions. We'll go really short so that we can attend to all questions. Again, I have a very strong male ego that my role should be there only in the house. How do I suppress that and understand about my partner and her emotions?
Okay, I have a very strong male ego. That my only rule is that what I say is the only rule I have. how do I suppress that and understand about my partner and her emotion? Anybody would like to answer this? Even I'm thinking how to this. Yes? Anybody wants to answer?
Yeah, better now you should answer this. Because you have to deal with this.
Anybody would like to answer? I'm sorry, Prabhu. This, I can understand with the male ego, but I really don't know if you want to have a rule. I think we can have a rule, but it should not be forced upon. It should not be forced on a person. Because what you have a rule, you have a standard. Maybe your wife will not be able to come up to that standard. So you have to be kind on her to come up to that standard. And rules, when you make a rule in the house, it should be joint rule, not one single person handling everything and forming a rule. Because then there will be no relationship again, which I'm talking about. Is that for relationship, you can't force things on anybody. So I think I would like to meet this person, please.
This is after how many years you start respecting each other? And who should start first? And then there is an additional thing to that. What should be the role of parents after boy or daughter's marriage? I mean, in-laws, whatever. What should be the role of parents? Or in other words, in-laws, whatever, both sides, after their daughter is married or son is married. So there are two questions.
Okay, answer that.
After how many years you start respecting each other? I mean, when you are committed, the respect begins from day one. How can you get into a relationship where you don't respect them? Why did you marry then, I'm sure this is, you marry because you respect, you like her. And so is it just like her but I don't respect her? ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. So anyway, but this is...
Who starts first?
So now this who starts first? Now what did Mahatma Gandhi ji say? What is it? To bring about a change? You be the change. So you own the responsibility. Whoever has realized it, you have realized it. Maybe the other partner doesn't even realize that. So you have realized that, then you be respecting. See, all these things are very easy to say that, but these are all skills and knowledge. But then strength will come through proper Krishna consciousness, proper Sangha. It is painful. No doubt it is painful, but the pain is very purifying. Why are you going through all these things? To develop relationship. Relationship doesn't happen so easily. There has to be some sacrifice. So let this be a sacrifice. But long-term vision, there will be fruits. 100%. I gave you the example of that Prabhupada disciple. It took many years. So don't expect some instant result here. And about parents' role, she will say. Now this is a very sensitive question. What is the role of parents in this relationship? What is the role of parents? Do they disturb the relationship? Can in-laws...
I don't understand what is the question, that what is the role of the parents in relationship. I think parents are going to exist in relationship. You cannot disown the parents in relationship. What do you mean by what is the role of a parents? The role of the parents is that they are there to guide you. So it is a role of the boy and the girl to take good guidance from them, take good advice from them. Now, if it is something specific, then it has to be very specific. What is the role? I think we truly believe that you cannot disown your parents once you get married. They are part of your life and they should be respected. They should be cared for. They should be looked after. Yeah, that is the role of a Grihastha, to take care of their parents.
How many minutes? Okay. So this will be the last question. So you can select which one you want to.
I think we should look into it and see.
Yeah. Because we have to...
Yeah, I know there are so many questions and
because we are running short of time, and I think there must be some rules in the community hall that we have to stop.
Yeah, this is one thing I would like to... If in-laws are not devotees and both husband and wife follow properly, how to deal with their expectation which are material? Okay, now it depends if in-laws have a material desire, but if it's not something which you have to break a regulative principles, as far as it doesn't interfere with your regulative principle, then you should be considerate. You cannot, I'm not saying ignore, but you cannot neglect them because they are also a part of a family and it is our duty to take care of them. Like, sometimes our children, they have material desire. We are not going to disown our children when they have material desire. We are going to take care of them. Similarly, we need to take care of the family, parent, as far as they don't tell you to break the regulative principle. There is a limit. Otherwise, it should not be a problem. Then I think we need to really learn how to take care of them, how to handle them nicely where they don't feel neglected. I think that is very important.
So thank you very much for
there
your
are many questions, but,
time and attending hearing. Of course, these are the dynamics of family life. So you heard the question itself says that how much there is a need that we have to work on this. But then, if you are in good sangha, and if it is not that your problem remains only with you, you can always discuss with. The problem is we don't want to even discuss because we don't trust others. Then what is the use of a community where we don't even trust each other? At least we should have some people whom you trust. There should be not that only me and my husband, but there should be also many more. There should be a circle of friends where you discuss about it. Because we don't know, even in husband-wife relationship, it is not that the wife many times she can be so composed to give you perfect advice. You know that Mandodari and several examples are there. So not just husband-wife, but there it can be extended to other. There should be a friend circle, there should be a group where, because issues are there. If you are not going, it's not only your ears you are hearing, let others hear. But who are the others you have to select? Whom you have some to trust. That doesn't become a gossip later, people still, because we are scared of that, people just talking loosely about it, uska chal nahi raha hai, kuch problem hai. Then you lose faith. But you need people whom you can, discuss, talk, and it will help. So it's getting late. I once again, both of us, we express our gratitude for you all coming here. I wish you all the best. And one thing I assure you, please, yes, it is a glorious ashram and we need to work on it. And we can reap the results by having a very nice relationship. And if you have good relationship, you can help others also. There are many people who are seeking help, but first we should work on our own relationship. And that is a priority in life. And all other things will naturally follow. Your sadhana will be very nice if you have good relationship. Do you agree that if your relationship is not good, your sadhana can be good? It's very difficult.
Don't ask the singles.
Yeah. He says that don't answer those who are not married. But anyway, this was a good opportunity for also those who are not married. I especially wanted. See this is how it is. It is not just for brahmacharya, there is a lot of training, a lot of training. But grihastha also you need training before you get into something. Why not, why not have little apprehension? Or say everything is nice, no, let it go nicely, yeah, I think I need to. So this way I think we can help the community individually and also it's a good media for preaching. As I said, because Grihastha life is easily accessible to community. Hare Krishna, thank you very much. All Melbourne residents ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Vallabh ki jai. Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Bhagwan ki jai. Shri Gaurnitai Bhagwan ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
His Grace Adi Keshav Prabhu ki. Her Grace Premlila Mataji ki.